Hey, welcome to a new episode of LonsTV. My hair did this entirely on its own. I didn't make it look this way, and I thought it looked like a Lewis Carroll character, so I figured I would keep it. A few things I want to talk about today. First off, Ted Williams is this homeless guy who now it looks like he's going to get a job. He has an amazing radio voice. He's a very gifted radio broadcasting voice. And he did voice work, apparently, and so he's panhandling on the street. He talks to a reporter who's filming him about his background, how he managed to get homeless while having this voice. Drugs and alcohol are related. And now it looks like, because the internet rallied around him because he made this great viral video, he's going to maybe get a job with maybe the Cavaliers, I think. And, so it might have a happy ending. He was on the Today Show, and it's a nice story. And it is a nice story. And I'm not trying to take anything away from that with my cynical comments to follow. But it makes me a little uncomfortable because I feel like people are so excited about and celebrating this video because they don't think that most homeless people have heartwarming, heartbreaking stories, we're good at things, had skills. We're real people with all the things we associate with real people. And they're celebrating and singling out this one, and there's an element of shock to it. He's well-spoken, and he has a good voice, and he had a career, and now he's homeless. And it's there are millions of homeless Americans, and most of them, a lot of them, had real lives and careers. I mean, everybody has this image, you're born homeless, or the homeless are a race that coexist with us in our cities, and no, those are all real people. And I mean, some of them are very far gone to drug and alcohol abuse and mental illness. I'm not trying to make light, and all of them are like this guy who have the potential to sort of turn their life around, quickly. But it's also not that rare that you could meet a homeless person who's perfectly capable of carrying on a conversation with you, has skills and abilities, has stories that he could tell you about where he comes from, or she. And I feel and there is something very real aside from let's help this guy that could come out of this. I mean, this is a great moment for Americans to sort of have that moment of realization, these homeless people I'm seeing all the time are real people. And if I got to know them, I would probably like them and want to help them. And that is, to change the way that you vote and to volunteer and help individual homeless people and do all that stuff, but also to just change your perspective. I mean, we're in this time in America where there's this mania for cutting government spending and shrinking government and, don't cut all this money for programs dealing with poverty and public housing and hunger and mental illness and drug and alcohol abuse and massive nationwide unemployment. No, a social safety net is set up to prevent exactly things like this from happening. People who could bring a significant amount of value falling through the cracks and winding up on the street and going through these horrible situations like this guy. So, I've said this a few times to people in the past week, and it tends to get taken the wrong way. I'm being churlish, or I'm saying, he doesn't deserve the help, or it's not good that this video got popular and he's going to get saved from living on the street. I'm glad for all of that happening. There is another level here that I'm not sure is clicking for people, which is, there are more things that we could be doing to help the homeless on a grand government nation level scale that we're not doing because of all the rhetoric that gets thrown out there, and it's not just this one guy. Okay, anyway, moving on to the main topic of the video, Devil, a terrible, terrible movie. M. Night Shyamalan, I guess, came up with the idea. He's got this company now where he comes up with the idea for bad movies, and then he has other directors come in and make bad movies for him. He's made so many bad movies in a row, he's fatigued, I guess, at this point for making bad movies. Okay, so we open with, I guess he wrote the premise, and it's every bit as stupid as you'd expect from the person who wrote, Lady in the Water and The Happening and some of his more recent films. Again, for people who haven't been following my thoughts on films for a while, I used to really like M. Night Shyamalan. When it was The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, even Signs, I was still with him. I thought he was a genuinely up-and-coming, promising talent. I think Unbreakable is a fantastic film. It's just ever since then, I don't know what's happened. He's disappeared into his own asshole, and now it is these egomaniacal, self-involved I don't even know how to describe it. We could do a whole video about it. I'm going to go on with this movie, which he did not direct, which he just came up with the idea of, and it's a stupid idea. We're told in voiceover narration in the beginning, basically, sometimes the devil comes to Earth personally to collect the souls of sinners who are going to go to hell. Fair enough. Okay, I'll go with him on that. Sometimes, just for fun, the devil likes to come to Earth. Seems like the stakes in that are kind of low, because you're right off the bat saying, like, well, they're sinners and they're going to hell, and he's just going to come get them. And it's sort of like, well, who do I root for? Because they're sinners, but he's the devil. But anyway. Okay, we'll get him that far. But then we're told, again in voiceover narration, which you would think not really necessary in a movie like this, but we get it anyway. He continues, sometimes before the devil takes the souls to hell, he likes to just fuck with them. He likes to just mess with the people. Before he takes their souls to hell, he figures, let me just screw around for a while. I mean, he's the devil. So he likes to just be mean for mean's sake. And it's Earth. Maybe he enjoys an occasional jaunt to Earth. It's an excuse to hang out. Again, very low stakes. Who gets saved? What's the driving force behind this movie? Like, why do we care? But okay, fair enough. That's the movie. So in this movie, the premise, the way it works out is there's an elevator in an office building, and everybody in that elevator is either the devil or one of these sinners the devil has come to Earth to collect, like a soul. So I guess the elevator ordinarily was going to break and they'd all die, but the devil decided to screw with them first and take over the elevator. So the elevator gets stuck in the middle, and it's an express elevator, so there's no way in or out on any other floors. And it gets stuck, and the people working in the building can't fix it, so it's just like this trapped elevator and the people inside of it, and they come to figure out because they keep dying. Like, the lights will die in the elevator, and then the lights will come back on, and somebody's dead. And after a while, it's like, well, there's no other explanation other than it's the devil. And there's a religious guy who, like, works at the building who's like, es el diablo. Of course, he's from a Latin country, because that's where they believe in the devil. Oh, es el diablo, es el diablo. Madre de Dios, es el diablo. So you get a lot of that kind of, like, total throwback nonsense. And that's basically the movie, and it's really cheap, because the lights always go out when anybody dies. So you get lights out, death, and then lights out, so you don't really even get to see anything. And it's like, and why would the devil even do that? It'd be scarier to watch somebody get murdered. And I guess it's like, well, but then they don't know who the devil is, and it prolongs their torment. But it's like, I don't know, it'd still be scary, right? If you were stuck in an elevator with the devil, and he's killing people and stealing their souls in front of you, that's going to be as messed up as like, one of these people might kill me, I'm scared. So right off the bat, it's not really a very good sort of premise, for that. It's just kind of weak on every level. The other problem is you have to cut away from the elevator, it would get boring. So you cut away from the elevator to these cops and to people trying to fix the elevator, but then you're watching a movie about people trying to fix an elevator. Like, there's a lot of this movie that's like, well, try moving that crank around. That do anything? No, that didn't work. I don't know what to do, man. It's stuck. Like, there's too much of that. Like, you feel like I'm kind of watching a movie about high-rise maintenance in an odd way, just because they had to cut, and then they cut to these cops who are sort of investigating what the hell's going on and why people are getting murdered, and they talk, it's like frat boy cops. They don't talk. I've never seen a movie make less of an effort to make cops sound like cops. They're like, whoa, man, we got a jumper in the back of the building here, brah. You should come check it out. It's like not at all the way a cop would talk. So I just think, like, there's just nothing here. I mean, it's so weird this movie would even get made. It's only because M. Night, for whatever reason, still has some clout and can get this stuff made, and there's just really no reason to watch this movie unless you love just, like, really schlocky bad movies. So don't check out The Devil. Do help the homeless whenever possible, when you can. And congratulations to Ted, who it looks like is going to have a career after, finding fame on YouTube. Good for him. That's LonsTV for today. I will see everybody tomorrow on another new episode. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it.